Hello and welcome back to JP Gaming. And I don't know why, but I've started saying that at the start. Every video, every stream, everything. Just feels natural. Anyhow, welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program stream / video, because this is probably going up on YouTube as well. We are back here at the Kerbal Space Center, and we're gonna try to build a space station this time, because we kind of got stuck building things or doing stuff in general over here, because we can't get far enough out to get more science to be able to unlock anything useful. But I think somewhere here we did get a space station part, or maybe I haven't, and maybe it's in here. Yeah, maybe it's one of these. Yeah, it's probably one of these. Fuck. Then maybe we need to get some science. Anyways, I'm gonna go into the spaceplane hangar, the vehicle assembly building, and just see. Yeah, no, we don't have that actually. So first off, let's try and send 2 Kerbals to go out into deep space, base, or not deep space, an orbit high above Earth, which is not the easiest thing to do because you need to go very high. And no, I don't think I'll use that one. I think I'll use this one, because it is a little bit heavier than this one, and it doesn't have any ablative shield on its own. But I think this one has a better chance of surviving anyways. And we're gonna have all the science experiments and stuff on the bottom of this, except for the storage unit. I'm gonna have that on top. Well, actually, I don't need that, because I can always jump out and just take the science experiments. That's probably a better idea. And then we just need this basically for the whole lander. Yeah, that's probably better. High orbit ship. I'm still so bad at making names for my crafts in general, but that's what it's gonna be called. Okay, let's start off, I guess, with something kind of simple. That does have about 2,000 meters per second, so I think if we get this into orbit, we would be fine. I'm gonna add on the science experiments down here as well. And I'm thinking that we can add most of them down there. Then we can have those 2 up here. Add that on. Okay, still over 2,000 meters per second in this thing. Will we need any batteries or anything? We might. We might need some. I'm gonna put some solar panels on there. They're not that heavy, just so we can recharge if we need to. Decoupler, yes. I think it's time to move this thing up and build the rest of the stages. And now I'm thinking something like this down here. Although we only have one feasible engine for this stage, I think this stage might need to be a little bit bigger. Something like that. Let's make sure that everything has struts. Yes. And then for the bottom rocket, we're also gonna build out, I'm thinking an asparagus staging on the bottom here. and some wings on this thing. Perfect. And like I said, some asparagus staging with these things on top so we can decouple them a little bit easier. Start out with these two. Let's actually build them with this size. So I don't think we'll need... Of course we're gonna need them to be big, but not necessarily that big. Just kind of big. Something like that. Then have those on. I'm gonna check the staging later on. Because these engines does have quite a lot of thrust. So all of these together is enough to lift it. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna place these down first. We're gonna have some fuel lines going from in here to in here. And we're gonna duplicate these. Have these go over here. And these are gonna have fuel lines going from here into here. Decouple those first, yes. Those are gonna be with that. All of those at once. That is barely enough to lift us off the ground. A couple of those. Then a couple of those with that. And then that. And move that engine into the middle there. Already have 10,000 meters per second in this stage. But I think we need a little bit more because we do need a little bit more of a push in the beginning. Because we need some more thrust just to get us going. So I'm gonna be using these big ass thrusters. And then we're gonna plunk on some of those on there as well. Go with that. Those are gonna be the first to decouple, I think. No, these ones go down here. These ones go with that. Okay, now the staging is correct. And then I think we're gonna have another set of these on here as well. There we go. I think that's kind of leveled. Those and those are in the correct place. Decouple those and those. Where are the... Okay, those decouplers are in the same place. Those are in the same place. Yes, okay. And I think that's gonna be it. Or maybe we could actually do something a little bit different here. Could make it so we decouple these first. Then we can take the thrust down on these a little bit so we can carry them with us a little bit further. And have those decouple a little bit later on. So decouple those first, then decouple those, or maybe these? And then those? I think, yeah, that's gonna be the correct way of doing that. Hello, GPC Diamond, thank you for lurking. And then that, and that. Decouple that, start that engine, decouple that, and then we have the parachute. Can auto-strut that as well, just because. I'm just gonna check now that I have everything I need up here. Have all the science experiments right. Yes, we just don't have an experiment storage unit because I'm just gonna pick out the experiments, put them in here, because we're gonna go out anyways and do a EVA report, so we might as well. Okay, I think we're good, so let's launch. I was thinking also that maybe it would be better to launch from closer to the equator. That might have helped us a little bit if we would have done that. I'm not doing that now. Right now we're launching from up here in Florida, Cape Canaveral, I think it's called. The Kennedy Space Center? I don't know. I'm not that good with the names of stuff. Anyhow, let's launch this thing and see how it goes. Okay, the speed seems to be pretty good right now. And I think this rocket is gonna have pretty good thrust throughout the whole launch, basically. So I think we can start flipping over pretty early on now. And it is soon time to decouple the first boosters. Are we ready? Decoupling went well. Then we're gonna decouple these and then those. So the solid rocket boosters are with us a little bit now as well, because these three engines didn't really have enough to keep us going as fast as I wanted to. It's good that I had those solid rocket boosters with us there to keep us moving a little bit. Okay, this does actually feel pretty good. After the last stream yesterday, I did play a little bit extra after that, just trying some stuff out to see if I could make some stuff a little bit better. See if I could come up with some better ways of making rockets. And I made a similar rocket to this one, and it did make it to a high altitude orbit, which was way higher than I thought it would be. It was at 36,000 kilometers, and I think 36 is geostationary orbit. So I would like to send up a probe there to have as a relay. Let's change that to orbit and see where that is pointing. See if we can. Okay, we can almost point at it. I'm gonna keep it a little bit above, because we're not moving that fast just yet. I also think that once we have gotten out that far and we need to like come back, I think we're gonna do multiple like skims of the Earth's atmosphere. So we can just skim the atmosphere a couple of times to gain some to reduce the speed of our orbit quite significantly. Because I'm a little bit scared to go straight in with this vessel. Although we do have a heat shield on it. It should be fine, I think. But then again, it could always start blowing up. Because you are coming in at like 8,000 meters per second or something like that. And that is quite fast. We're still losing time to apoapse, which is bad. That just means we don't have the thrust that I would have wanted in this stage. But we don't have a better engine. The skipper is the best I can do right now for this stage. Okay, now we're gaining. Good. And we're at 2.1 basically. I think that's gonna drop a little bit once we change stages. But in this stage, yeah, we didn't drop that much because this engine has like 400. Yeah, exactly 400 thrust, which is pretty good for an engine that size. Can start pointing downwards a little bit more. Let's do a little bit time warp. Almost in orbit now. Just need like 1,000 meters per second more. And I want to send this stage back to Earth, basically. So I want it to burn up. I think it's gonna be pretty perfect. Yeah. Now we have 2,000 meters per second more in this stage. We can actually wait until we're at apoapse now to do the rest of this burn. And then we'll just have to see if this is enough. If not, then we could maybe go back and expand this stage, because the rest of the stages worked perfectly. Okay, let's take our periapsis, make a maneuver node and see. Okay. Looks like we're not gonna be able to get there. Fudge. Okay. So let's go back to the vehicle assembly. So I think we just need to... We need to increase one stage. Could just point more upwards and try and get higher with this stage and increase that. Or we can just put more fuel on this stage. What kind of tanks do we have? I'm thinking of just plunking another tank on there. And then another one on here. So we just have more fuel in the later stages, because I think that's where we need them. Then we could put more boosters on the first stages as well. Why not? That is the question. And the real question is which ones? Because I really like using these right now, because I don't have the separation boosters, and I can use these. Oh, totally forgot. These have oxidizer and liquid fuel in them as well. We can take that out in these ones that are on the solid rocket boosters, because we don't need that in them. Gonna keep it in these though. Is it out in these as well? Yes, it is. Okay. So that's gonna help us as well. You know what? I think I'm gonna take some of those and decouple them. Not decouple, but put them out here. Because those are the first things that I decouple, right? Yeah. So I can decouple those simultaneously. And then decouple those, and we're gonna carry those with us a bit further. Then we could actually drag down the thrust on these even more. Okay, just gonna check the stagings now. Those, and those. Then we decouple those, yes. Then those, and then those. Then that, start that engine. Decouple that, start that engine, decouple that, and yeesh. Let's go. So I think we have in general about 1000 extra meters per second of delta V in this thing now. And I just hope that's gonna be enough. Does look kind of wonky when I have two sets of boosters there and then one set here. But that doesn't matter. Going a little bit more aggressively this time, because we have more thrust this time. Not that aggressively though. Don't want to overdo it. Okay, there we go. About halfway done with the first sets of boosters. Going really fast now. Could probably take down the thrust a little bit. But nah. Let's go full. We're probably losing a little bit of delta V now just fighting the atmosphere. Because we're going so fast so early on. That's what solid rocket boosters in particular are for. Fudge. Okay, the rocket seems to be kind of stable anyways. So I'm just gonna keep on burning because I think these will be empty anyways soon. Yes. Okay, that was not the most optimal way of launching, but it still kind of worked. We probably lost a little bit of something, but I think we're fine. I think we're fine. So I think we can just time warp a bit. Let ourselves gain altitude and gain speed with this stage. And it seems I'm losing time to perhaps a little bit. I'm gonna stop the time warping there. I can maneuver this a little bit easier. Point it. Yeah, let's have it here at 20 degrees. It seems to have stabilized it a little bit better. We're still losing time to apoaps though, which is not good. We're definitely gonna start losing now. So now we have less thrust. But it's fine. I think we can still do it. Slowly dropping down now. Okay. I think we're gonna start increasing just as we decouple, probably. Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Next stage. A little bit of an explosion there as well. Always nice to see. Now we're losing again, losing time to apoaps. Not too much though. But I think we're going faster with this stage this time than we did last time. So I'm gonna keep on pointing this way and try and gain some more height. I'm gonna be about at 20 degrees. Just so that we can hopefully get all the speed that we want out of this stage, but not take it with us into orbit. Because we don't want to, of course, we don't want to have any space debris. Okay, I'm gonna point straight at target now for the last 500 meters per second. So we have already gained quite a lot of height that we didn't have last time. Okay, so we're basically at the same point at the apoapsis height, but we have gained a lot in the apoapsis. Sounds like someone's phone is vibrating or something nearby me. Okay, just gonna circularize here. Gonna keep my periapsis down here pretty low. Gonna see if we can get it up to almost 200, yeah. Oh, it was my watch that was vibrating. Just wanted to tell me that it was fully charged now. Okay. Thank you for that. Now I know. And yes, we do have enough to get that high. I want to do this in multiple burns though, and I'm gonna kind of wing it and not do it with a whole bunch of different maneuver nodes. So we're gonna do about a minute burn at a time. Just gonna set a node here. I guess this kind of makes me see my change. I don't know what that does. I just wanted to have this down here so I can see a node in T. So I know that I burn for about a minute at a time. And of course that's gonna make it so we burn as much as possible very close to periapsis. And that's gonna make all the burns more efficient. So we can hopefully save in on some of that fuel. And 5 seconds more. And stop right there. Make another maneuver node. And this is why I wanted those solar panels. Because we are gonna do a whole bunch of orbits, and there's gonna be a couple of orbits coming back as well. Guess we might be able to do this in 2 burns. Just gotta make sure to check this, because we don't want to go too high either. I mean 36 kilometers, or 36,000 kilometers as it is. It's pretty high as it is. And stop right there. Okay. Next burn is gonna be the final one. Can actually make that maneuver node. Oh damn, how much are we gonna have to burn? About that much. It's not perfectly on the periapsis, I don't think. But I think it's good enough at least. Okay, it's just gonna be a 20-second burn. Oh, fucking I overdid it a little bit with the time open. Okay, screw that one. Just point prograde, and we'll just check up here. It's gonna be close. There we go. Okay, we have 182 meters per second left. So that's gonna be enough to put us inside Earth's atmosphere. but it's not gonna be enough to slow us down efficiently so we can actually re-enter. I don't think. We might actually try that. And now we are in space high. So let's do all of our experiments. Got 37 there, 15, good, 7, noise. Log the temperature, log the pressure. Go out on an EVA. Take an EVA report. Take that data, collect this data, and we can't reach that one. So we're gonna have to release. And do... Oh no, what happened? Oh no, what happened? Oh. I was just... My hand was one step to the right, so my controls were all off. Whew. I thought I had inverted controls or something. Collect data. Oh, okay. So I think we've collected all the data now. I'm gonna take the data from in here as well, because that, if you take the data from inside here, you can do another crew report if you want to. Could actually do a second one of these, I think. No, actually, let's not do that. Let's do that from low orbit and then collect that one as well. But let's go up here. Point retrograde. Just give us a little nudge. So we can get inside the atmosphere. Let's go to 100 isn't that much. Let's go to 90. Or actually, let's make a quick save here. Then let's see if we can actually re-enter on one time around. Going to 53 now. Okay. Then we're just gonna time warp until we're in space low again. Observe the mystery goo. You're at 0.5. It's not much, but it's something. It's always something. Collect that data. Aboard. Now we'll have to see. Can he survive this? Because I'm not totally sure that he can. Point retrograde. Decouple that. Because that's definitely gonna blow up. But it feels like we should be able to survive this. Because I have returned from the moon directly to back to Earth in just one go without having to skip through the atmosphere. Okay, we're coming in at 10,000 meters per second. Camera's shaking, so I'm guessing, yeah, we have some explosions over there. Okay, we've already burned through about 70 of the ablative shield. That's quite a bit. Slowing down quite quickly. Not as quick as I thought we would at this speed and altitude. Now I'm scared that the ablator is gonna run out and that's what's gonna blow us up. Because that's possible. It's like barely possible in stock KSP. Because the ablative shield just doesn't burn out that quickly. And you don't have as much atmosphere to go through. Okay, we have about 50 left now. We're still not slowing down. We have slowed down pretty evenly throughout this re-entry. I thought we would have kind of like it is in normal Kerbal Space Program, where you slow down just a little bit at the start and then there's just a like hitting a wall. Once you go into the atmosphere's thicker layers, you slow down tremendously all of a sudden. I think though we're just about gonna make it. Yeah. Okay, we made it. Oh. Good thing I tried this as well and didn't go around a whole bunch of times, because that could have dragged out our ablative shield as well and destroyed us, because we wouldn't have any ablative shield left. I can actually leave that to water level, because we are landing in the water outside the coast of Mexico, somewhere down here. I think I heard a story once about some fishermen, I think it was 3 guys, that they were out somewhere around this area, I think, and they got like stranded at sea and had survived for like hundreds of days on like just a small fishing boat. I think one of them died. But I think that's still pretty amazing that just one of them died. Can jettison the heat shield to lose some weight. Does not seem to be that deep here, because I can see the bottom. Okay, do not explode, do not explode, do not explode. Because now I've finally made this mission. And we didn't explode. Nice. And we could do some science apparently. Oh, haven't I done any science from the water? That's weird. Thought I had. Anyhow, we got even more science than I thought we would. Nice. Then we can probably take something just like the Science Junior, something else, and go out into the water over here. Science Junior and the Mystery Goo, and do those in the water as well. Probably. Okay, let's check here. Yes, this is the one that I wanted to get, because with this one we can get a science lab. It's a small science lab and it's not that fast, but it's still a way of getting science while we're just around Kerbin still. Would really have liked to gotten this one as well, so we would have had some way of docking to it if we want to dock something later on and like expand the station or something. I think the next docking part is here, yeah. We do not have enough for that. I don't want to get that right now because I am pretty close. So what I think we're gonna do is we're just gonna send something really small into the water. We're gonna make one of those like early on rocket thingies. I'm gonna have this at the top as well, just to increase its survivability. Put 2 of those on top there, This is not gonna be stable at all. Do I need anything else? I don't think I need anything else than this. Oh yeah, I think I've only taken the signs from shore, but I haven't gotten out all the way into the water. This is a terrible rocket, but I think it'll do the job. Or maybe not. No, that's not gonna go far enough to go out into the water. Damn. Okay, let's maybe make it a little bit more aerodynamic. Let's put these on the side instead and have a nose cone up here. But I still want to have it on top. So I think it'll explode otherwise. Let's try this again. Same basics, but just that we have a nose cone, so it's hopefully gonna gain some more speed. Or at least not lose as much speed. Oh no. And you gotta check the staging. Of course, staging. It's mucho important. It's muy importante. And yes, this is way faster than last time. Accessor impact biome is still gonna be shore though. We can try still. But we are in the water. We're not on the shore. So this still counts as shore. Okay, so we need to get kind of far out, I guess. And you know what we need then? Single most important thing in every Kerbal Space Program mission. We need more boosters. Yes, I know that's where we're gonna land. We'll see, we might get a little bit of science from this. Oh, we hadn't done a material study from shores either. Let's do all of those. Let's jump out and see. And we could get 3 science from that as well. Nice. But I still want to get all the way out there into water and not shore water, I guess. Let's see if we have the same thing loaded up when we go in here. Yes, we have. Okay, so let's just change that into a little bit of a bigger one. Let's take down the thrust on this and put some wings on it. This looks bad, but I think it'll work. It will work. And gotta check the staging as always. This one I feel fairly confident that it's gonna make it all the way out there. Okay, we have half of our fuel left. Can check this and see it says impact biome is still shore. Now it says water. Nice. So what we basically have here is a plane made of a solid rocket booster. Looks very bad, I gotta say. This says we're over. Now it says impact biome shore. Did we change to another shore or something? I'm gonna try and make us fly longer. See if we can change that again. Because I don't want to land in shore. Come on. We need to go to water. Maybe we should just build a plane. Maybe that's what I should do. Do I even have things to build a plane with? Not really. But kind of. I don't know. Maybe we place these further up. So if we have the wings there, then we can fly it a little bit better. I'm gonna take the thrust down a little bit more. Because we were going kind of fast there at the end. Let's try it one more time. Impact biome is still shores. Come on, change to water. Now it's water. So let's just try. Okay, and now it changed back to shore. So I guess it's because I'm losing that speed. And it thinks I'm not gonna get as far. But that changes. Can still try and glide it there. Okay, this flies worse than the first one. Okay, I think I'm gonna give up on this actually, because I don't need to do this. I just wanted to get that little bit of extra science. But we do have enough now to unlock this thing as well, so we can get the docking port. Which is kind of sad, because it would be nice to get like some of these other things that I can get from here, but no! This is what we're getting. Oh, I just realized I don't have any what is it called? Payload base or stuff. So this is gonna be interesting to fly. But anyhow, we're gonna build something pretty simple up here. This is gonna be the escape pod. So my Kerbals have some sort of way of getting out of this place if they need to or want to. Mostly need to. And then this is gonna be just attached to this. We don't have that many solar panels or anything. So I think what we'll do is just place solar panels on the sides here. All around this thing. I gotta say, this is a thing that I really like with these parts. That when they like change in the depth or width of them, the parts that you attach actually attach to the outside. With some of the bigger fuel tanks and stuff in the stock parts, if they had something like this, these solar panels will just be attached on the inside immediately. I think that will be enough for now. Then we'll attach a whole slew of batteries around here. Like that. And then I want to have some way of controlling it if need to. Now I don't need, or maybe, yeah, let's place a reaction wheel there. And then of course the docking ports. Let's maybe have more than one docking port. Let's have two up here as well. Why they were inside out, I don't know. And don't forget to auto strut everything, so it actually holds together once we fly. I think I'm gonna take some batteries in place down here as well. Yeah, that's good enough. So now we have a lot of battery power. Oh, we don't have any science experiments yet though. Of course we need them too. We don't have an experiment storage unit on it, but I think we can do without one. I think we're gonna be fine anyways. I'm thinking that later on I might be able to put some solar panels out on these, or at least one of them. Back here we might be able to attach another part of this little station thing, because this of course is just going to be a very small station. Its main purpose will be to just provide us with some science now in the beginning of the game. Two of those. I'm gonna drag those down a little bit. Oh. Cool. So the variants make it so you can change their direction. If we retract them now. And then they extend and... Okay. I think that actually is kind of cool. I'm gonna keep it in that variant. And auto strut. All of those are strutted perfectly. I'm just gonna think through now if there's anything else we need to put on here. But I don't think there is. We have the antennas, we have all the experiments. We have something to land the top parts. Space. Space Station 1. That sounds like a very bad name and a very good name at the same time. Then I think we're gonna place that in like that. I don't think we have... No, we don't have any monopropellant thrusters or anything to... So this thing is not gonna be able to dock with anything else, but we can of course dock things to it. We just need to get some monopropellant from somewhere else to this thing. Do we need more solar panels? I think that maybe we should put some down here, so I have them facing down a little bit, and then we can probably place at least two here, and then have them a little bit tilted upwards. There we go. These, you can't strut these, which is kind of nice actually when you basically want to auto strut everything. Because then you don't really have to think about that too much. And I think a stage like this is probably too small. Oh yeah, and of course we don't have any fairing. So this thing is just gonna be very unaerodynamic. That sucks. That sucks. No, I'm not gonna place more parts than necessary on this thing. I think the stage we're gonna have here is gonna be... I could place an engine like this on. And we'll have 2000 meters per second in that. I'm thinking this is going to be the last stage, that's why I'm placing a probe core on it. Probably need some batteries as well, just so we have a way of getting rid of this once we've placed this thing in orbit. Really sucks that we don't have any fairing to build around this thing yet. But we're just gonna have to make do with what we have. That one is too big. That's what we needed. Make sure that we have struts on everything. Perfect. I think the stage below this is gonna be kind of the same, just a little bit bigger. And then we have to divide these up. That starts, that decouples, that starts, yada yada yada. That decouples, that starts. And that one is gonna open after that decouples. Yes! Okay, so now let's build the main rocket itself. The thing that will carry us into space and not only make us stay there. I think I'm gonna build a similar thing to what I built before with the rocket that made it into high orbit. So this itself doesn't have enough thrust, but that's kind of fine. Once we're in orbit, that's not gonna matter too much. No. These ones, yes. I think we can build them this high at least. We'll just have to see once we add on these engines. Okay, that's actually not gonna have enough thrust. So let's take away that and place those on. Still not really enough. But you know what? I think I'm gonna place 2 thud engines. Let's take 4 thud engines. Place them on out here. Drag them in like that. It's gonna look a little bit weird, but it's gonna give us that extra boost that we need. And now we can duplicate these, put these on the sides here. And we're also gonna drag these down a little bit. And then we're gonna have fuel lines between the outer ones here and these ones. And those are gonna be in the first one. And those in the second one, yes. And then, as we did last time, I'm also gonna place some solid rocket boosters on the outside of both the stages. And the first pair is gonna have its thrust taken down to... Let's take it down to 60 as we did the first time. And hopefully this time nothing will explode. Should probably fix this staging. Those are gonna be with these ones. Those are gonna be with that one. They are gonna be up there. Then we're gonna duplicate, not decouple, duplicate those. Place them correctly. And then these are gonna have full thrust on them. Those are gonna be the first thing that we decouple. And then a couple of these, I thought. But I think maybe we need to put it like this. Maybe not. I wonder because the fuel is going from these into these. I thought these would be with us still after we decouple these ones. Decouple those first. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit confused by the staging right now. As one can be in these situations. Oh yes, and of course, this time I'm not gonna forget to get rid of the fuel in these ones. Because we don't need fuel in these, the top of this ones. It's only gonna slow us down. You only need the solid fuel in them to be able to decouple them. That's not correct, at least. I know that. I need to decouple these first. And then these. Then these? That's not correct either. I don't know, I think we'll go with this, and then if anything changes, we're gonna just go back. We'll just try it out and see how it goes. These both, yeah, they're both at 100% thrust, as they should be. Maybe the game is just confused, and it's not me that's confused. So we have both of them down here, right? Yeah. We have all those engines down there, yes. Okay, let's go and check the crew. I'm gonna recruit some new scientists and take some other piece as well. Although we're just gonna have the scientists on this thing. We're gonna have one in the lab from the beginning and one in the re-entry module. Save and launch. And I totally forgot. I'm gonna have to go back because I want to launch this from another launch site. Because I want to have this station orbiting in a kind of equatorial orbit. Oh, thank you. I think the ship, this like variant of building the ship is kind of cool. Oh. And the game crashed. How wonderful. I really hope that vessel's saved though. Although I gotta say, this is the second time the game crashes since I downloaded Real Solar System. I thought it would crash way more often than this. I've probably played like 40-50 hours or something. And still only get 2 crashes. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see if it captures the game again. Yeah, there we go. Now we're up and running again. But yeah, as I was saying, we are gonna be launching from a different launch site. We're gonna be launching from Brazil, actually, because that's the launch site that I found that was closest to the equator. And I don't know. I've been launching from there a couple of times, and oh yeah, I also realized yesterday that if you go like outside the launching complex, you can also get another biome that's called tropical. So we can get a little bit more science from just Earth and doing a pretty quick just jump over there instead of having to make some sort of rocket and try and fly very far away. Flying with style. Hey, that kind of looked like our space station. I really like this art. It's a really nice art. I'm wondering what the mods are in that picture. And this one, is it visual mods? Probably. This definitely contains mods. If it's an in-game thing. But it doesn't seem to be. Oh, it's Bob's lunchbox. Also, a thing that I noticed when I first downloaded the Realism Overhaul and the whole package, because you can see down, where is it for you? Down, like here, in this row, it says 612 patches loaded from cache, I don't know. But that's basically how many modded parts there are in the game, or how many mods, how many different things are affected by mods, or something like that. And right now it's 612. That's pretty much. But when I downloaded the Realism Overhaul with all of those mods and all the extra things and a bunch of extra things, like I did in the beginning, which was not what I wanted to do, which was way too much. I think it was 43,000 patches. And that my game just didn't instantly crash there. That's insane. RSS Science Mode, yes. I also have this one where I'm just testing out things. I have sent out a probe somewhere, and I also have a station on that one. That's where I got the idea of building a station in this save. Okay, let's begin with going to the right launch complex this time, because I wanted to launch from here. Kuru, FR Kuru. So let's get in here and hope that that rocket is still here. Space Station 1, yes. Which one should we launch? I think let's load this one. Seems to have everything on it. So hopefully it does. Let's just check the staging once before launching. Yes. And let's check the crew. And now we can launch. You think you would make a nuclear missile if you're trying to make a rocket? Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, that has happened a bunch of times. that I've accidentally made a rocket or a missile of some sort. How is the fuel draining? It seems like these engines are draining too fast, so the reason why my staging didn't add up like I wanted it to might be because we need more fuel in those for all of this to work. Which, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Would be nice. Then I would have more security of knowing that I will get into space. Or I can help that with just not having full throttle in the beginning here, because we're already gaining quite a lot of speed. We're gonna try get into orbit anyways. Take that away so you can see our little Kerbals down there. Oh, and it's flipping. Yes, of course, because it's not very aerodynamic. So we are most definitely gonna have to go back. And yes, I think I'm gonna take those off. Add another pair there. Put those on again. Hope that I think they went into the right place. Take those off. We'll add some more fuel there as well. Okay, yeah, now. Because the thing is, if you don't see a readout up here of how much fuel you're gonna have, like in that stage, when you have something decoupling in this sort of configuration where I decouple asparagus staging booster after booster, then that means that those, when you decouple those boosters, something else is gonna be already empty. What I think would have happened here is that these boosters with this the liquid fuel, they would have run out before the solid rocket boosters. But I think because of this, that we did have so much thrust to weight, I'm gonna take down the thrust on these even more to have them with us for longer. Now I think everything is a go. We have the right Kerbals, we're at the right launch site. Everything is fine. Now, the only problem is that we are not aerodynamic at all. This thing is gonna wanna flip. It's gonna wanna flip a lot. I'm starting to think that maybe we could fix this gap somehow. That would make it a little bit better. Still gonna have this gap here. Probably. But we'll try and fly it first. Let's just go full throttle from the beginning and then we can drag it down a little bit at a time. To just make sure that we don't accelerate too fast, because that's what's gonna screw us over. As long as we're not going too fast when we're low in the atmosphere, so we're just slowly climbing, then we're gonna be fine. And if we have less throttle now, that means we're gonna have more fuel later on, so we're not technically losing anything on this. Point towards the prograde marker. And we are now gonna be releasing the first solid rocket boosters. Gonna throttle up a little bit before that, because we're gonna lose a lot of thrust now. Okay, but we can still go pretty safely. We're not going that fast and we're not that high up yet. So I don't want to throttle up until we're at least at 20 kilometers. And I'm gonna stop flipping over. Try to have it pointing a little bit more upwards. But it seems like it's starting to wobble out of control then. Which is not good. Okay, let's point it at prograde. Just for that decoupling, and now we're gonna throttle up. Try and point it a little bit more upwards. And time to decouple the solid rocket boosters. Come on. Gain speed. Gain height. Oh, we don't have any wings on this as well. Because wings always help a lot. I always use wings for all of my crafts basically, even though they probably all don't need it. But I always have wings on anyway. Okay, we should probably have gone a lot more straight up at the beginning. Because we don't really have the thrust to keep us going upwards right now. We're just 9 seconds away from apoapsis and it's closing. And I think if I try pointing it more upwards, yeah, it's gonna want to flip. If I point it more downwards, then we're gonna lose time to apoapsis. Yeah, we need wings on this thing. And now we're flipping. And there's nothing I can do. Backwards going rockets are not the best rockets, I would say. Decouple. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the vehicle assembly. And let's place wings for starters. I'm gonna place these wings on. Gonna have them there. And I'm gonna take these. Just place them higher up here. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna take down the thrust on these even more. Let's take them down to 40. Maybe we should take down the thrust of these as well. What happens if we do that? Yeah, okay, that messes with the whole staging. So let's keep those at 100. Let's see if we can do something about this mess over here. I think that might make it a little bit better. But we still have like all of this open space where I would have placed a fairing here and have that all the way up to here. Don't really have that option. Okay, let's just check the staging and then we'll go. I think all the staging is still fine. Yeah. Let's go. Those poor astronauts can't imagine the G-force they'll need to handle there. Yeah. I mean, going up isn't that bad though. It's coming back down. That's the real problem for them. Because just going up is... I mean, right now they're just... It's just 1g of acceleration. I don't know why you have minus on the G. But apparently you do. But it's just 1g of acceleration right now. I think 0 is just when you're down at the surface. That counts as 0 even though it's 1. If you get what I'm saying. So right now it's not that bad. But I think the last stages, especially this stage, where I have that rocket with 400, yeah, it's 400 thrust in that thing. And just that small amount of fuel, I think that one is gonna yield the most amount of G's from going up. Although going down, when you go down you can easily hit like a couple of hundred, no, not a couple of hundred, a couple of tens of G's. It's usually in the red. Sometime during the descent down to a planet, you're gonna hit that red part. I think I even hit that once when I was just going into Juno's atmosphere. And yes, Juno, not Mars, Juno. In the stock Kerbal Space Program. Okay, our profile was way more straight up this time. These boosters had a bit slower burn because I dragged the thrust down, and I think that made it all a little bit better at least. Yes, you can also spin them and get a lot of G's. I have made rockets that have relied on spinning for stability because they didn't have anything else stabilizing them. And if you do that, then you may very well need to have some cushioning inside the inside that pod, so when they spin out, they're not gonna just be slammed against the walls all the time. Okay, time to decouple. Now we've lost all the solid rocket boosters. Now we just have the liquid fuel ones. I think it's time to start flattening this out quite aggressively. Yeah, I'm gonna be pointing over here at 20 degrees or thereabout. Because now we need to transfer as much fuel or as much of the thrust as possible into the vertical speed of this thing. Ditching the side boosters. And we are not going that fast. I am starting to think that we might not be able to take this thing into orbit. It's very possible right now. Sounds like a machine that creates trauma for the passengers. Oh yes, it does. To be honest though, I don't think I had any Kerbals on that particular rocket. I think I just had I had some other type of payload. Probably a nuke or something like that. Gotta say that it really sucks that I don't have any better engines at this point. Okay, we just have one stage after this one. And that only has 2000 meters per second. Delta V. I'm not that confident that we're gonna be able to put this thing into orbit. And you know what that means? That means that we are gonna have to build a bigger rocket. The question is, where are we gonna put more fuel? Think of if we only put more fuel on the last stage, that would probably be enough. So I think it's the last stage that is making all the problems. We are dangerously close to our apoapsis now. We're down to 1 G of thrust, or 1 G of acceleration is what you should say, I think. I'm no rocket scientist. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna get this thing into orbit. I am fairly sure right now. That this just doesn't have enough to do that. But we're gonna time warp and burn and try anyways, because you never know. You never know. My calculations might be wrong. But I am fairly sure right now that it's not gonna make it. Yeah. And now I feel like I know that it's not gonna make it, because we didn't make it. Okay. Where can we put more fuel? I think we could, because we didn't put full thrust on any of these parts, so I think should put more fuel on all of these ones. No. It's down here, those there. Yes. And I also think that we should put more fuel on the last stage. I think we should take all of that off. Put one more of those on there. And we could probably make this middle stage a little bit bigger as well. Almost up to 10,000 meters per second of delta V in this now, so feels like it should work. Or maybe I should do what I did last time. Why not? Let's add even more solid rocket boosters. Let's have these at 80% thrust. Let's see, where should we place these? So I think they're kind of in the right position. I think we might need to have them below here. Yeah. Take them down a little bit more actually. Let's take them down to 70. Okay, we'll decouple those first, then decouple these, then those, then these, then those. Okay. Once again, we'll just have to try. And now we have 10,005 meters per second of delta V. I agree with you, Diamond. We have to believe. We must believe in thrust. We trust. And damn, I do want that t-shirt. In Thrust We Trust t-shirt. It's a great t-shirt. I like it. I really like it. Seems like our launch profile is a little bit better this time. Because it did work with going more straight up, but I think we were fighting the gravity too much then, so we didn't get enough vertical speed or horizontal speed. Vertical is this way, yes. Horizontal is that way, yes. And now it's time to decouple those, yes, and then those, yes. Okay, everything turned out like I wanted it to. The game just didn't account for me not having full thrust going all the way. Which I can understand, because that's usually what you do when you build a rocket. You just go full thrust and hope for the best. But yeah, our launch profile is definitely a lot better this time. Because last time when we ditched these, we were at like... No, I think when we ditched those, our apex height was at like 90 kilometers. We were going like 400 or something. I don't remember. I don't remember. I can never check the stagings enough. Especially when I'm making rockets like this. And I stopped following the curve now because we're losing time to app-apps, and I do not want to lay this more flat than it already is. I think this is a pretty good angle for it, around 20 degrees. And I've been so spoiled now last couple of weeks with the waterfall mod that makes the plumes out of the rockets a lot more just viewable. Makes them beautiful, basically. I think these one looks kind of the same, but the one from the skipper inside here, you can see how it's like a lot bigger. It's like going out into the other ones. Yeah, they didn't do that before. I think that looks awesome. Still losing time to apps. I don't like that. Should be gaining more speed. It's just all because I don't have the correct engines. But we need science to get the engines, and we need the engines to go anywhere, and to go anywhere we need science. It's the circle of life. I'm gonna place these in the same, so we can just decouple and it will start the engines immediately. Okay, we're gonna start going down soon if we don't gain height. This is not what I wanted to happen. Because now we're losing a lot of that delta V just fighting gravity that wants to drag us down again. Instead of using this fuel to move us horizontally. So I don't think this one is gonna go into orbit either. I think the rocket is correctly made. It's just the flight profile that wasn't good enough. But we're gonna try anyways. But yeah, no. Yeah, no. We're not getting into orbit. But I want to burn out this stage anyways, just to see how close we get. But like I said, I think the rocket is correct. It's just the flight profile that messed it up. And this could have been it, but it's not. Okay, so I think, yeah, we're gonna just go back to launch and try launching it again. I'm just gonna try and go a little bit more upwards. It's hard to find that balance, you know. I'm gonna have a little bit more thrust going from the beginning. First booster separation. Second boosters are going. No. And those ones are gonna be going any second. Those ones are kind of close to each other. And I guess this launch profile isn't the best either, but at least we're gaining time to apoapsis and we're gaining speed more evenly. We're not fighting gravity in the same way. I think that's gonna make our next stage and the stage, especially the stage after this middle one, that stage, I think it's gonna make that one a lot more effective. And it's, I gotta say, it's not often that you have your solid rocket boosters with you this long into the flight. And when we're over 70 kilometers up when decoupling those, I think if you would think about the realism of it, it's not very realistic. Don't think you carry those that far up with you. And I want to be trying to be pretty equatorial, even though I can't really afford it. Still want to try and make it so. Time to decouple. Now is the kind of messy time when we don't have that much thrust. We're gonna be losing some of that time to apoapsis. Although, last time when we did this stage, we were way lower down. And that's also gonna affect the efficiency of the engines. And of course now we're almost totally outside of the atmosphere, and that also means that we don't have any atmosphere fighting us, basically. That's also gonna make us go faster, which is nice, real nice. And I do not think we were over 3,000 meters per second in speed when we're on this stage last time. Still losing time to apoapsis pretty fast, but I think that's gonna change pretty soon as well. Oh damn, our thrust to weight is below 1 now. That is not good. Maybe we should have added more fuel on this stage. Maybe we just should have added more fuel on the next stage. Or added it somewhere earlier on when we had more thrust. I don't know. This does feel better, but it still doesn't feel good when you're losing time to apoapsis that quickly. there's not really much I can do about it. Okay, it's slowing down a lot quicker. Let's hold it here at 30 degrees. And hope that we just don't pass it. So that would be real bad. Okay, it stopped there at least. We're gaining a little bit. And we are going a lot quicker than we were last time. So this time, this might be the one. This might be the one. And with this stage, we have a lot more thrust, so we can be pointing downwards a lot more. If I just need like a little push, I could take the fuel from this one, because I don't need all of that fuel for the re-entry pod. I don't not really have it in there for safety basically, but don't really need it. Could do without it. I'm still surprised, like all the time, that I never get tired of these songs that I have on this list. I've thought about it so many times that I need to add more songs. I need to add more songs. And one time I did. Since then, I don't know. They just work for me. We still didn't get into orbit, and it's not a small nudge. We actually need quite a lot more to get anywhere. So I think it's time to go back to the vehicle assembly and see if we can change anything. I think instead of adding the fuel on these stages, I think we're gonna take away a bit of fuel on that stage. Take away a bit of fuel on that stage. Then we're just gonna add another stage. Let's get rid of that. With a little terrier on. That's gonna give us another 1,000 meters per second. I mean, the thrust to weight is not good at all, but I think that's gonna be enough to push us out there. Then again, we're gonna have this gap that might be bad for the aerodynamics and stuff. Now I think something is messed up with the stages up here. And yes, it is. That decouple, that engine starts, yes. Yes, okay. Now it's correct. We can also, let's see, do we have any monopropellant in any of these? We don't. Thought we did have some in here. Because we could have gotten rid of that. Because we don't need any monopropellant. I think it said down here that we did have some monopropellants, but no, it doesn't. Okay, so we don't have any. Good. Although we can get rid of about half the fuel in that. So we don't need that fuel. And you know what I will do? We'll place some more of these on. To fix the edges here. Okay, there we go. And that's gonna give us a little bit more fuel as well. Okay. No, I was gonna save, and then I was gonna check everything and see if we might need to boost some more. But no, I forgot. Let's launch. You know what, this time, let's try going full throttle the whole time. Almost, because we need to take down the throttle a little bit to even out when the boosters drop and stuff. We can drop that a little bit now, I think. Because it's this stage that I'm worried about. That's these need to run out before those. Which right now it doesn't look like they are. But maybe, we'll see. Maybe we'll run out of fuel in these first and then we'll have to move some stuff around. I don't know. Okay, now we're gonna go full throttle from this point out. And now we are on the long stage. One that's gonna take a long time. Now I think we are wasting way too much of this power going vertical. I mix up vertical and horizontal so much, I don't know why. Might be because I'm not a space engineer. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dude that likes rockets. There's nothing wrong with that. My mom has always told me. I think our general launch profile is pretty good. But, I mean, our time to app access is good, but I do not like the angle we are going towards it. Like this a little bit better now that this switched from surface to orbit. Yeah, okay, this is good. This is good. I know now that we're gonna start losing time to app apps once we get to the next stage here. Which of course is bad. We are losing it slowly, and I think it's lower than it was last time. I'm just gonna keep it at the lower or back edge of this right now. And hope that it works like I always do. But this one feels good. This one feels good. Still says we have 5.5 thousand meters per second of delta V. We could take away those 3,300 at the top, because those are not, shouldn't be in the calculation of this. We are still losing time to app apps, but we are gaining quite a good amount of speed. I'm gonna do like I did 2 times ago trying this. I'm gonna change the staging so we start the next rocket directly when we decouple. And I'm gonna let this lose a little bit of time to app apps now. I'm gonna let it do that until we hit like 20 seconds to app apps. That's when I'm gonna get worried if I need to change my angle by then. Yes, I just want to pick up that speed right now. There's so many new things that I have to think about while building rockets that haven't been a problem before. Especially not when just building orbital rockets. That has always been an easy thing to do, but now it's not easy anymore. Actually need to gain quite a lot of time to app labs for this next stage, because this next stage is gonna have like 0.6 or something in thrust to weight. And that's okay with the height. I wanted to have this at an orbit about 300 kilometers or something like that. So if I can get it up to that height with the next one, I'm just gonna be happy about that. And now it starts to feel like I might not make it now either. But we'll see. We'll just have to try. This is taking forever though. I'm gonna be time warping through probably most of this. time to apoapsis has stopped. I think that means that I can point it downwards a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't feel like this is gonna work this time either. Damn. Should it be this fucking hard to fucking just build a space station? Okay, if it doesn't work now, then I'm just gonna go nuts with the next rocket. I'm gonna rebuild the whole thing and I'm gonna build something totally different. That is just gonna be insane. Yeah, we're not gonna make it. We got closer at least. But no. Did not make it. We were kinda close to get this thing into orbit. But yeah, now I think it's time for a redesign. And I think we need to redesign the boosters that are on the outside here. And this stage is kind of shit. I'm just gonna check in here. These have 600, those have 400. So we could probably build side boosters with those 2.5 meter parts. Yeah, let's try that. Let's keep these though. Let's keep those. Let's do it like that. Now we're gonna make some insane asparagus staging. Three of those, one of those, and then we'll have those on top there. Some more of those engines. Like these down here, those are gonna be in the same stage. Okay, so that does have enough thrust to weight. Good. And of course some fuel lines. And duplicate. There we go. Those fuel lines did connect. Fuel lines between here. Now I have to redo these stages again. Guessing these are gonna be up here. Those are gonna be with those. That, those four, those two, and those two, yes. First decouple those, then decouple those, yes. And then, instead of having solid rocket boosters or anything on the outside, just gonna reattach these. Maybe we'll need to make them a little bit smaller, but we're just gonna reattach them. We're gonna have to redo the fuel lines as well. Oh no, wait a second. The fuel lines were correct in there. Also wanted these to go over there. Long ass fuel lines. But it's gonna work. It's gonna be a lot of stages. It's gonna work. It's gonna be good. Okay, let's just make sure the first stage is correct, that we have all those engines. Those four, and that one. And that is not enough thrust to get us going. So something needs to get smaller. And I guess it's gonna have to be these outside boosters. Because they already look, it does look quite ridiculous having them like that. Let's make those a bit smaller. Then let's see, yes, those are gonna be the first ones to decouple. Those are gonna be the second ones. Then we're gonna decouple those, and then we're gonna decouple those. That. Yes. Although it does look like we're gonna need some solid rocket boosters on this as well. Or just some more engines of some sort. The problem is the only like good engines we can put on here. Could probably change the variant of these. Have them like that. And maybe do something like this. Yes. Tweaking the system. Okay, that is all the engines, I think. And now, all of a sudden, we have enough thrust. Doesn't look good, but we have enough thrust. Okay, decouple those first, then those, and then we're gonna keep those ones that have the double engines on. Then we decouple that one and that. Yes. And we actually do not have that much more total delta V than we had before. Which stage is this? Stage... this stage doesn't have that much thrust to weight. Might be this stage. I don't know. I know this one doesn't have a lot. That's the one 055. Yeah, okay, so it's this one that doesn't have that much. So I think what I'll do is that I'll take away that one. Just so that stage will have more thrust. Then we'll do something else on the outside here. Because we need more boosters. I mean, I could just like do that. Could. I mean, when you think about it, why not? Take away the solid fuel in the outer ones. So we only need that in those. We could. That gives us like 500 extra meters per second of delta V. That's good. Probably don't need all these fuel lines then, because these are connected directly. It's weird, but you know what? I think it'll work. And just for the fun of it, we're gonna suspend it in air. We're gonna drag it up a little bit. So we're gonna start a little bit higher. That's also gonna save us a little bit of fuel. It's not gonna be much, but still a little. Those decouple first, then those, yes. And those, and then those. And then we have, after that decouples, we have that engine, then we have that decoupling that engine, that decoupling that engine. And that is the escape system, yes. Okay, this one is going into orbit. There's no doubt about it. It looks ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's harmful. It's wrong in so many ways. It just has to work. Right? There's no way something as insane as this can't work. Said Albert Einstein and made an atomic bomb. Wobbling a little bit here. I guess there's nothing more to do than to hit launch. Because I saw this thing starting to wobble and for some reason it seemed to be uneven. Oh! Oh, well that's not good. Can't fly it up like that. Revert to launch. I'm guessing because the clamps, the ones that are holding the rocket, aren't auto-strutted. That might make it so it wants to wobble or something. So let's go before it does that. Okay, now it seems to be straight, and it's going straight up, so I think it's working. It's working. It's working fine. Everything is fine. Everything's good. No, I'm tempted to put it on just going with the flow or whatever, to point it at the prograde marker, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, first decoupling, and it was the correct ones. Everything worked like it should. Next ones, and these are, or were, totally full at least. Okay, it's going up. It's working. It's going. It's flying. I think it's time to point this to prograde marker. Start tipping it over a little bit. So we're gonna have, we're only gonna gain per stage now, we're only gonna gain thrust to weight. Why does it feel like we're going sideways like that? I don't know, maybe it's a visual thing. But we're only gonna gain thrust now since we have the most rockets on this stage. And that stage is gonna have the most thrust with full fuel in the tanks. Okay, second ones are off. Everything seems to still be working. Oh yeah, I didn't have those fueling these and these. So those have been draining, these have been draining a little bit. But it's fine, it's fine. Okay, we might have been flipping a little bit too much. But once again, I think it's fine. Just hope that this decoupling is gonna go well. It might be problematic we're not pointing at the prograde marker when we decouple. Okay, it worked, and now we can roll back and point a little bit more upwards. Just so we continue to gain altitude at a reasonable rate. I think we are though. Have to remember that we are gonna lose a lot of that thrust once we ditch these side boosters, because those have the most thrust of all the boosters that we've had so far. Yeah, we're going upwards. We're going up. We're going up. It's going good. It's going good. It still says we have a total of 7,000 meters per second. I hope that's at least kind of true in some regard. Set it to 25 degrees. Okay, this stage might be able to at least take us on a trajectory going outside the atmosphere. Might be just below, but I think it's gonna take us. Yeah, okay. Just below it. But this gotta be better than the last time. I don't know why I always do this thing where I build one rocket and then I try to fix that rocket until it works, instead of rethinking the whole thing and maybe building something new. Like now, this is working way better than the last rocket. And all I basically did was change some of the starting stages until to some bigger stages with more thrust and more fuel. And some of the first stages to some stages with just more thrust, same amount of fuel basically. Because my problem was just thrust the whole time. And once again on this stage, we're gonna have to be okay with losing time to apoapse a little bit, because it's not the fastest one. We're gonna regain that with the next stage. And then lose it again. But it's all about the fuel efficiency. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency. It's a Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing, if anyone's seen that. I really like that show. And I still wonder, when is the new season gonna come out on Netflix in Sweden? I think it's on Netflix in other countries. But I wanna watch it by my TV on my PS4, and I don't have VPN on my PS4, so I can't change that to another country. I think I can actually just point prograde now, which is nice. This rocket, this time, we are definitely going into space this time. Although, you know what? We are gonna skim through the atmosphere once, because I think we have enough fuel to do that once and it not being a problem. If it's a huge problem, of course we're not gonna do it, but if we can, we're gonna do that, because I really want to get the most out of this very small and inefficient space station that we have here. And to do that, I need to take the science experiments, the few that we have right now. We can take those, of course, out in low orbit, and we can also take them in the upper atmosphere. So if we just skim through the atmosphere real quick, it's not going to slow us down that much, and we're going to gain that extra level of science. But I feel certain enough that we're going to make this, that I'm going to do the experiments and start putting them in the science lab. Also gonna go in here and press start cleaning those experiments as well. Oh yeah, we are definitely going into orbit. Crew report. This thing is in the way all the time. Okay, we're almost at that 300 kilometer mark that I wanted to get to. Okay, now we're there. Good. Let's do an EVA report. Oh, we actually got one that we could transmit. Then we change back here. Go in here. Send that off. Back to this guy. Board. Check this and place it in there. Now we have 84. With that other guy, we're gonna get about 4, almost 5 science a day. But if we now, like I said, just skim the atmosphere once, then we can get probably almost twice that amount. I think though that I'm not gonna build like space stations around on every planet and stuff like that. Okay, so the atmosphere starts at 140, so I'm gonna put this at 139, 138.9. Okay, that's good enough. That means we're gonna have this whole stretch. So we can actually go a little bit higher. We're still gonna have a lot of time inside the atmosphere and to do the science experiments. But let's go around and do that before we do anything else. And yes, pointing prograde is probably a good idea. That's gonna make it so we lose as little as possible of our speed. Of course, at this altitude, it's not much. It's not much atmosphere to talk about. It's a very low amount, but it's still some amount. Conduct that, take this one, in with that one, in with that one. Crew report, and let's do an EVA report. Board, and now we have done everything and we have a lot of time to spare. We're still going down. So that wasn't hard at all. And we have almost double. We had 84 before, and now we have 160. So I think that's mainly because the amount of science that we can get out of the experiments that we do inside the atmosphere is less valuable than the ones that we did outside. just because the ones outside is like, oh, you got further away, so you gain more. Why is our time or our apoapsis height, why are we gaining apoapsis height when we're inside the atmosphere? That is weird. We're losing periapsis height though, but we're gaining altitude on our apoapsis. Something is wrong, and I don't know what. Okay, now we're gonna stay out here. So we're gonna extend that one. That's gonna flip over. Really love that. Oh, and now I just realized I should have had one with that variant that could flip over and one on the other side. I didn't do that, so I had like one disc at each way, like one like that and one like that. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Okay, now let's get around to our apoapsis. Point prograde. And just get this thing into a stable circular orbit. I want to get as close to that 300 as possible, just because it's fun. Okay, now we are very much circular around the Earth, and we're not quite equatorial, but pretty much. It's gonna be way easier to dock with this thing and launching from the same place anyhow, and that's the whole goal with it. Okay, and we still have 800 meters per second left in this stage, so what I think I'll do is that I will fill up this one. Not that we are gonna need it, probably, but I'm gonna fill it up anyways before ditching, because now we don't need this stage no more. So I'm gonna take this stage now and put it back inside the atmosphere. Start by moving it away. And then just point it retrograde at full throttle. And now this thing is gonna dive down into the atmosphere quite quickly. And we can also transfer this guy back here. So now we have 2 scientists in here. We're gonna gain 9.3 science a day to begin with. That's gonna go down over time, of course. We're gonna have to start research again. Forgot that because we jumped out. So now that's just gonna keep on creating science for us as we wait, or as we do other things. And I don't really know what the next thing is. I think the next thing is actually just waiting for a bit of science from this thing. We're gonna do some time warping until we get, I don't know, like 50 science maybe. And transmit that science. So we have a little bit to play around with. It's not much, I know, but it's still something. Transmit science. Let's see how we're doing with the electricity while transmitting that. We are totally fine. And that's good to like try out sending some science, just a small amount, because you could need more electricity to send out a full load of science, because that can hold 400 science at once. And Would be nice to know. Anyway, let's see if we can do anything with those 50. Okay, we got 69. Nice. We can get some more wings. We can get some things that we can build planes with, which might actually be good. I think I'm gonna get that one actually. And then I think I'm gonna recover that. And then I think it is time to end the stream for today, and I will be back tomorrow. And I think, yeah, doing more of this, and we'll have to see how it goes down. But thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye bye.